I press start recording. Does that mean it's started recording? Guess I'll find out. I've got the air conditioner on. I see that there's feedback on the microphone. Let me turn it off and see how big of a difference that makes. So when I review this later, I want to see how big of a difference that AC does. So I'm going to be quiet for just a few seconds. See, I wonder if that Blue Yeti Nano would pick this up. I might have a setting on here to make this noise canceling. I mean, I don't know. Is there a setting on the computer? Let me go look. Guys, don't go anywhere. It's really warm outside. Actually, I'm going to turn this off. When you come back, this will be turned off. Hold on. Hold your nose. For you, it was instant. For me, it was a minute. Actually, you can tell. Happy Monday, everyone. Okay, I'm going to turn the air off. Sounds like there's cicadas outside. I guess if there's a computer. I guess if there's a computer this year. No, I guess if there's a hurricane this year. I'm very well documented. Wouldn't you say so? I would think so. Well, let me show you outside my plants. Rather than go out there, it's 86, 87 degrees out there. Of course, it's a little bit later. I keep looking for a clock, and there's one like right up here. But I have to look over at the computer screen, which means I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at myself, which is vanity of vanity, saith Quolatoth. All is but vanity, right? Kind of like the Girl Scouts walking over the Rainbow Bridge and looking in to see your reflection in the pond. Isn't that what narcissism is? Narcissist looked at himself so intently at his reflection, fell in love with it, that he fell into the water and drowned. In other words, narcissism is self-defeating. Eventually you love yourself so much that it kills you. Of course, there's a lot of people still living with it, right? But maybe they're sociopaths. Maybe there's some other factors playing in there across the mental stage. Psychopath or sociopath? Who's to say? Dr. Dad? Dr. Dad. Well, let me show you what's going on outside. See if I can find a Web XR. The Web XR. I just got to put myself in the middle. These are the sunflowers. Of course, the largest one is that one, and there's actually 3 in that bucket. The ones I planted in the bucket are doing better than the ones I planted in the ground. And they're all in garden soil with Miracle-Gro fertilizer in it that's supposed to feed it for 6 months or 6 weeks or something. So they all have the same amount of soil. The only thing is the one in the bucket has about half of the garden soil, and then I had some sand, because the ones I planted in the ground, I used half of a kitty litter bucket. I cut the top off, and I planted it, I think it's 8 inches long, and I planted it 4 inches into the ground. And then I dug out the dirt down to the end of the bucket. So 4 inches down, I dug out that dirt and put it in another bucket, and then refilled the hole in with the garden soil. So there's about 6 inches of garden soil, about that much in each one of in the ground plants. The only exception is the one in the bucket has sand, loose sand underneath the bottom. And the water that I feed the one in the bucket still filters through to the bottom of the kitty litter bin. I drilled holes in the bottom, and a lot of times If soil is too dense, it won't seep out the bottom. But it's seeping out of the bottom. You can tell how green these are around the edges. And these are the marigolds. I got to plant those. I was working today on the EVGA border plastic. It was $20-something. I told you yesterday for a 50-foot roll. It's what you put around your flower bed. You know, it's what you see in people's yards that delineates where their grass stops and where their flower bed starts. It keeps your mulch in because it gives you an above ground lip about that high, however high you want. So mulch doesn't leach onto your grass. For me, I got that so that I could keep the water, you know, around the plant, because I use liquid fertilizer. It's $6 for 1 pound of Miracle-Gro, but like a 9-pound, a big huge tub of it's $9. So what would you buy? $6 for 1 pound or $9 for 9 pounds? Yeah, I got the 9-pound one. So now I ordered a hand waterer that you put the powder in. It's actually not powder, it's more like granules. And I was using a watering bucket, but I think I'm fertilizing the marigolds too much because the tops are getting too much growth too fast. And if I remember 2 years ago, they wouldn't flower because they were doing too much growing. But within the next couple of days, those are going to get planted. 2 of them are going to get planted above Kitsy, and I'll probably leave. Is there 4 of them? Is there 4 or is there 1, 2? Yeah, there's 4 of them. So I'll plant 2 in Kitsy's grave, and I'm hoping they're different colors, because one should be both white, yellow, and orange in there. And there's my spotlights for my flag. Of course, you see my flag. I told you yesterday that's like this beautiful made in USA sewn American flag. It's like ripstop nylon, almost like a plasticized cloth. And the stripes are sewn pieces of cloth, and the stars are embroidered. Who sings that? That's Today He's 40 years old, going on 20. Don't look for the gray in his hair, 'cause he ain't got any. He's got a young thing beside him who just melts in his hands. He's middle-aged crazy, trying to prove he still can. That's Jerry Lee Lewis, not the King. What was he called? He wasn't the King. He was called something else like that. He's the one that married his like 16-year-old niece, something like that, or his cousin. He ended up marrying his juvenile cousin, Jerry Lee Lewis. He died just 2 years ago or so. But I used to listen to him in the 70s because he was country western. Middle-aged crazy is the name of that song. You know, big piano guy. You know, he would go and he'd start hammering on the piano with his foot, you know. Crazy Jerry. So you see my spotlights right there. My sunflowers. One in the bin. Next year, I think I'm just going to do them in the bin, right? I'd get 1 bag of topsoil at $4 a bag for each bin and do 4 bins. That, or I'm thinking of you guys, of getting a tractor attachment for my little lawn tractor and just planting my whole yard into a garden. Like having a row of corn, a row of sorghum, a row, don't ask me why I said sorghum, it just sounded good. A row of tomatoes, a row of potatoes maybe, a row of peppers, you know, just something like that. Reminds me I gotta start my tomato seeds. Remind me, you guys, start the tomato seeds and the echinacea plants. I think the echinacea plants are more like weeds, to tell you the truth. So, yeah, can you imagine all that out there in the yard? All this. I would put like a little field fence around my front yard and it would all be like one big garden, because it's the only part of my yard that gets sun all day long, from about 9 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. It gets sun out here. But that's why the plants are doing so doggone great. You can see where the water hits them. It's turning the grass green and everything else in the yard is brown. If these... Uh-oh, listen. There was a siren. Siren going by. That flagpole was, I think, $15, and the flag was $10. Maybe it was $20 for the flagpole. And it was built pretty good, and the flag for sure is. If you need a flagpole and a flag, I'll send you the link. Because for being as cheap as they are, I'm really surprised. If the flag lasts 1 year, I'll be more than happy. So that's what's on the agenda, getting the flowers in the ground in the back. I keep watching where the sun is. At least 2 of them are going to go on Kitsy's grave with the border around it. So I can keep like black dirt in there and fertilize with the Miracle-Gro. I would imagine as long as you're fertilizing it, throwing some Miracle-Gro on there, that those plants will do fine as long as they're in sun. The feeder I'm getting, it was $10 from Amazon. It's a brand name, not Irwin or Vigoro, but it's a Orion or something. Watering thing where you can actually hook it between 2 hoses so that the water coming out the other end will have fertilizer in it. Isn't that interesting? So if I wanted to put in like an irrigation system, I could automatically fertilize my plants by just turning the water on, right? Kind of like an inline pool chlorinizer. You know what I was going to say, didn't you? You were going to say chlorinizer. Yeah, the pellets or the big tablets that you put in the chlorinizer, and it automatically chlorinates your pool. No more dumping chlorine in it. You know, when I was growing up, we'd have to, I don't think it was called the, what's the pool place called? What's the pool place called? Say that fast. Pool place called. Not Pinch a Penny. It was called something else, but we used to take the jugs in there, get them filled with chlorine for the pool. When we had the above ground pool, and we'd have to pour that in there, you know, my dad would actually swirl the pool with his arm to get it spinning. You know, this was like a 4 or 5 foot deep, 26-foot round pool. It was the biggest round pool they had before they came out with the oval. And my dad would pour so much of the chlorine in, and we had a tester. So before we would go swimming, we would test it. It was always in the kitchen. I knew where it was. I could test the pool water. You know, you rinse it out real good. You put pool water in it. And then you put 2 drops of the chlorine tester in one tube and 2 drops of the acid tester in the other one. And it gives you the pH and the chlorine levels. And if it's in the good range, you know you're good to go. You know, it's not uncommon for it to be in the high range if you just did it. But Dad would always do it at night because he said during the day, the sun causes the chlorine to dissipate. I still remember that. The sun causes the chlorine to dissipate. So he would do it in the evening when he would come home from work. That way the chlorine stays in the pool all night. Kills everything. It would keep the water frogs, the Cuban tree frogs out. Those are those big slimy ones that piss all over you when they jump on you. Pet is due for their flea and tick protection. Don't have any, shop now. Let's see. New reapplication. Text stop. Guess you press reset. so that in 30 days it'll text me again that the cats are due for their flea medicine. So put that on my to-do list, you guys. Let's see. I don't know why this wanted to open Google Play. And it wants to open the Best Buy app. What's up with that? It's for my Pet Armor Plus. It gives me a reminder when the cats are due for their... Your pet is due for their flea and tick. Oh, I know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to type in reset. You text reset, and it resets it for 30 days. See if it says it's been reset. So it was on the 20th, which is today, right, of April. Definitely will keep up with that this year, you guys. Reset. You're supposed to reset. That's all that's going on here. It's already too hot to be doing anything out there, or else I'd put on my garden knee pads and go out there and put the border around where Kitsy's at and start to dig out the dirt from there. It's just this real fine sand. It's like that sand in Lake Wales, you guys. You remember that? Lake Wales sand. It's just this like nutrient lacking sand. Just crystalline like sugar sand. Is that what they call it? But this is definitely high ground where we're at. There's no swamp or anything going on here. I've talked long enough. Thanks for going with me for a tour of the plants. There's no cats in here today. It's too late. They're all zonked out. Bongo's been up with me all morning. And she was just up with me on my lap in the living room. Gugu's sleeping somewhere. I don't know where he's at. And Neo, I just saw him out there, so I know he's around. And Bam Bam, because Stephanie got up. Bam Bam, Neo, and Bongo I saw out running around. Annie's sleeping, so's Gugu. So, sorry you didn't get to see any of my children today. Yeah, let me introduce you to my children, right? There's no there. They're not there. I love you guys. I was almost tempted to not do another video. I think it showed 400 and something videos on the blog channel. So I've more than made up for a year so that you have at least one a day for a year. If anything should happen. Hopefully someday there'll be 3,000 videos there, right? When I'm 76. And we'll still be doing this if the world still exists. Or I'll still be doing it. Thanks for going and looking at the plants. Maybe I'll take you with the... What's really easy to use is the GoPro because it's really light and it's got really good color reproduction. Thanks again. I love you and God loves you. Say your prayers. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I promise you, I pray every single morning. When I pray the rosary, I don't just say a bunch of words. I actually meditate. I envision in my mind whatever the decade is dedicated to. What do you call it? The mystery. And then I think about you guys. I think about people in nursing homes and hospitals. And people that are getting ready to die today. I remember at St. James going to a nursing home one Christmas as like a project to do something kindly. So we went to a nursing home in North Miami, and for what I remember, like yesterday, we walked into there. The people are down the row, and it smelled like urine. Yeah, first time in a nursing home and it smelled like urine. Real strong too, like pee. Well, maybe I've got to call into nursing homes, you guys. Pray to God for me for discernment. Maybe he'll set something up to where I can start a religious order of monks and nuns that will do nothing but serve people in nursing homes and hospitals. What do you guys think? Of course, we would need a priest. We're going to need to get a priest on board so that he can say Mass for us at our chapel. Maybe we'll take over St. Joe's, because I hear they're not doing so great over there. It'll become the monastery of St. Joseph's. And they'll have to do another church somewhere else. But anyway, that's me rambling for too long. May God allow us to be reasonably happy in this life, supremely happy forever in the next. See you sometime soon. Actually, I'll see you on video hopefully tomorrow, because I'm looking right at you. Bye, you guys. Remember, I love you. Get ready. Bye.